Hi there, welcome back everyone. All set here. Today is Friday, and I want to give you an update to my little color swatch experiment. So I got all the swatches in envelopes here. Let's see, this one here, we'll get to those in a minute. So for the most part, I have showed you a whole stack of colored swatches, and they are in individual envelopes, and they are sealed. And as you can see, there is a ton of them. Those are the color swatches. And then those envelopes that have, let's see, where did I, okay, here's one. A closure like that, a butterfly, or we did see a smiley face. Oh yes, here's one. Or a smiley face. Any envelope that has one of these stickers has what I call the adjective. It has like the words upcycle, denim, Ankara, fringe, pleather. What else do I have? Lace, velvet, suede, all of those types of words there. Okay, so the premise, as I said in my previous video, was to spark this essence of creativity, so I can get out of what I call the procrastination. I have a gazillion plans and I want to sew all the things. You can see all of this. This is not even all of my fabric. But I want to start working on it. And the reason why I haven't gotten to this just yet is because, well, I changed my mind at the speed of light. And now I just think maybe with this system, might be able to get focused, create some excitement. This is kind of akin to what Carol and a couple of other people on YouTube has done with the Wheel of Fate, but at least they knew what fabric they were working with. I'm not going to know until we pull out of here. So I did respond to some questions that were left on my last video, but to go ahead and reiterate, let's see. I don't usually purchase clothing to upcycle per se. I tend to either I'm going to wear it, I thrifted a piece that I'm going to wear, or I've purchased a piece that I'm going to harvest, meaning I'm going to take the buttons off or the lace that it has on it or something like that. I have a lot of patterns as well, and so it's a lot easier for me to, I feel I'm going to try this way, to pull the color that I'm looking for, and then automatically in my mind I can tell which fabric I'm going to be using. If I get stumped, then I'll try for one of the adjectives I like to say. But for the most part, 90% of my fabric stash, when I purchase each and every item up there, I had an idea of what I was going to create with it. I mean, right over here is mud cloth. And then, of course, a lot of my ochre is here and behind the mannequin. And then this is a mountain of fabric here. So, yes, I had a vision in my mind, so it's just a matter of executing that vision. Now, when I pull a color, pull a card, let's see if I'm still holding on to that vision. Back to some of my thrifted items. So, as I said before, I don't usually buy clothing to upcycle. I tend to buy fibers, as my girl Rebecca at Tribeca Designs likes to say. That means I'm buying curtains or draperies, tablecloths, linens, and things like that to rework. The pants, these are pants. These are made from a drape, a curtain, actually, very lightweight. I wore them out this evening. I went to the movies. Well, not this evening, last evening. I'm recording this way early in the morning. So, what do I want to do today? Oh, I did say, before we pull a card, or some cards, let me show you my latest thrift haul. So if you're in the Baltimore area, there is I guess you could say like a creative reuse place called Scrap Baltimore. And I know last week I said I was doing the artist's way, and one of the artist dates is to like go to a thrift store with a certain amount of money and, enjoy yourself. And so I did. A friend of mine and I went, and we picked up a few things. Let's see. Let me show you one of the first things I got. So, you guys have seen these. They're like carpet samples, tapestry samples, and such like that. I took it out, but that's what it costs, $7. And these are all the ones I had gotten. I mean, they look like denim. Most pieces are this size, or they come this size. Look at that blue. Some look like this. They do look like denim. I do have a project in mind. I have a couple of projects in mind. But I just think that they are very interesting. The texture. Now, can someone tell me how to get this stuff off? It doesn't peel off as easily, so I'm thinking maybe I might steam it or use the same process that I use when I'm removing the labels from my Ankara, which is a brown paper bag and a hot iron, and hopefully that will lift it up. I'm going to try. But yes, I do have an idea. That's a green. I do have an idea in mind. Another one. So yeah, that, couldn't resist that. Oh, this is one of my favorites. I have to show you that one. Look at that. It's corded. Stunning, right? Okay. That was $7. And then they had huge spools of trim. They had this brown lace trim. I fell in love with it, but I had no idea what I was going to do with it. It was about 3 inches wide, and yeah. Anyway, this is fringe, and it was 50 cents a yard, and so I picked up 6 yards of this. And I bought it because these are the colors that I'm working with. That's in my stash. Like wherever you look, I have these colors. So that's a tendency that I have. I will pick up anything that is a favorite or a part of my collection, has the colors in it that I like, which unfortunately is like almost all the colors. That. And of course they sell yardage bundles like this. So this is a cotton, and it was 3 yards, and it's $3 a yard. I like that print. I'm going to make a pair of wide leg pants for this. I don't even know if it's 6 inches wide. I mean, it feels like a lot here, so maybe 6 inches wide. And then there's this foulard. It's called foulard print. I think that's going to be another pair of trousers as well. Well, flowy pants, because, I'm being sarcastic here. Not that I don't have any other fabric, but it was 5 yards, so this was probably my most expensive piece because it was $3 a yard, but it's 5 yards, and that's how it comes bundled. I couldn't leave it. Chocolate is trendy now. So I did get some other things. Embroidery thread. I got some embroidery thread. And let's see. A couple of buttons. Look at that button. That's probably about 2-inch. And I did find some patterns. And I don't remember how much the patterns were. I think they were only a couple dollars as well. I got 3. Well, actually, I started out with a stack. And then I looked closely. The sizing was off. And so I put those back. And then there were patterns made by a company that I actually never heard of. And I don't remember what it is now. But the design was too dated. Too dated. Sometimes, yeah, I'm going to say too. It was, the designs were very matronly, I'll put it to you that way. Anyway, so I came across, there's a Vogue 2362 wardrobe pattern. You see the long coat there, and there's a short jacket, slip dress, turtleneck. This is an advanced pattern. Yeah, this is the line drawings there. That slip dress. That turtleneck zips up the front. The skirt is bias cut. Tailored coat. Yeah. It looks like the only thing that was cut out here, if anything was cut, was nothing. Still factory folded. Wow. The next pattern I got was this one. It is actually a separate vest and skirt there. Close-fitting line boned interface below waist length top. Ooh. Line, boned, and interface. And the skirt is gored, and I want to say that only the skirt portion was cut out from the dress, or from the pattern rather, and that's what the line drawings look like. I can imagine making that and then wearing a white shirt underneath it. I have been looking for this pattern for well over a year, maybe 2 years. And last year, a friend of mine, when I was working at Viking, came in with it. She had found it on eBay, and she let me use it to copy. I had to make some adjustments to it because the sizing was off. But on Sunday when I saw this, I didn't even blink. I snatched it up straight away. And then I have this one, Vogue 7698. Bustier. Mermaid hem skirt. I see the potential for some color blocking with this one. Let's take a look at the line drawings. Nice. And this came in size 8, 10, 12. So my sizing is here within all the patterns. I think they were only a couple of bucks, like maybe $1.50 or $2, which I mean, they had several bins full of patterns, and of course you had to go through to find these. I don't know how these were still there, but there they were. Let's see, what else do I have? So as I said, well, let me show you. These pants here and the ones I'm making were made from pajama bottoms. I did make some adjustments because this waist to crotch depth was insane. But you know, when you just want to do something quick, fast, in a hurry, and I made both of these yesterday morning, one to wear out yesterday evening. And I wanted a pant that didn't have a side seam because of the print on the pants. So here's mine. Well, this is more like the pajama pants because it's very, very, very loose fitting. A lot of room there. But this is made from a non-stretch, well, very little stretch jersey. Elastic waist. The waistband is really small. The size that comes for the pattern there. Whereas with this, and this, I have to be careful. Don't want to stick myself with the pins. I'll show you what I did here. So when I laid it out, I removed some of the, as I said, from the waist of the crotch was very, very long. I mean, I saw it as soon as I laid it out, and I cut off almost 3 inches from the very top. But I added the 3 inches to the length, and I didn't need to do that. But I knew that I wanted to have a deep hem, and so I do have a deep hem. So what I did here, I put in a wider waistband than what is called for on the pattern. Put a little tag in there. It says handmade with love. Let me see, can it come in? Probably, yep, there it is. Don't want to focus, huh? Okay. And it was Mary Sarah. Sing So. I'll put a link down below. She found them on Amazon. So, I mean, I have some labels. I have some labels that say Offset Stitch Treasures. And I have some labels that, you know, you can buy at Hobby Lobby. I waited for my labels with House of Audacity 1961. But in the meantime, so I can make the distinguish between the front and the back, I stitched this in back there. Only took a couple of hours, and what I loved about the pattern is no side seam. So this really is a great beginner's pattern. You do want to check the measurements. I would suggest that even though they are pajamas, that crotch has a tendency, I mean, if you look, it can be very low, but this is a pattern that's for everyone in the family. Just be careful about which size you're cutting out. And what I had done, I also widened the leg. Let's see if you can see what I did here. my little drawings here. So that's how, if I turn it this way. So what you see there in purple is what I added to the width of the pants, because I wanted them wide leg, I didn't want them tapered. And then the top portion, because it has all the sizes, it was just too much. That depth, that was just, it was just absolutely too much. And you know, it called for 1.5 inch elastic. I just couldn't see it. So if the pattern is still available, get it, put it on your list. You can make pajama bottoms for everyone in your family. I have a friend who did that, and she used this pattern, and she also made some lounging pants for herself. And I was just frustrated. I wanted something to sew very quickly, and I spent a lot of time, this is what I mean, I spent a lot of time looking for the right pattern that I wanted to use, and I pulled out so many. I was like, no, no, no. And then something just said, wear those pajamas, wear those pajamas. So yeah, this is a curtain. I guess it was $3, but I fell in love with the print. So when I go thrifting, I am going to always look for color first, and then texture is important to me, and then price. You know, there was nothing wrong with it. Well, no. Down at the bottom of the hem of the curtain, I think as a matter of fact, I know someone was painting and did not put the curtain away. You know, tuck it away so it wouldn't get any paint on it, because I guess maybe they thought, well, you know, where I'm painting, yeah, they got a drip of paint on there. And the person gave up the curtain. There was nothing else wrong with it. So yeah, to prove that it's a curtain, you can see I still have the top band that you would put, well, my nail's going through, the rod through there. So I think what I'm going to do with the rest of this, I have a couple of bags I'm going to be making, so I will be making a tote bag or something and added that on. So that's my haul, and that's everything for Friday. So drum roll, let's pick an envelope and see what we're going to be working on for the week. And then I'll come back next week, and hopefully, depending on how challenging the pattern is, I might have a sewn item. So I'm going to use an old seam ripper to open up the envelopes. So let's do, I'm just going to pull out a stack from the middle, and I guess I'm going to shuffle it like a pack of cards. Let's do that. Okay. You can watch me pull an envelope, and let's pull that one. Okay. Let's see what color this is. Can I open it this way? Yes, I can. Don't need to. Oh boy. And we've got yellow. No. Let me see. Let me see. See it there? It's a brilliant yellow. Can I take some of that? Hold on. I want to put you on pause so I can get better lighting. Well, there's the color, and it's called Squash Blossom. You see how yellow that is? Okay. So, I'll be back again. Yellow. Okay. So now let's see if I can find a card in here that has a smiley face or a sticker or something. Let's see. Let's find something so I know that what I'm making. Oh, there's a smiley face. Let's see what that is. Oh boy, I hope I'm not shooting myself in the foot by doing this experiment, but let's keep things exciting, shall we? All right, let's see. Can I open that up? Smiley face, and oh, and we'll be doing a blouse. So next week I'll be coming back with a yellow blouse. Can't really see it, but I'll take a screenshot of it and put it down in the community tab. Okay, now I just have to choose a pattern. Wish me luck. And so that's all I have. If you have any other suggestions about how I can do this, any other items that I could add to the drawer that you'd like to see made up, get curious about. I mean, I did take someone else's idea. She suggested like different clothing items. So there's, well, you see that there's a blouse in there. I put blouse or trousers. Did I put a jacket? I don't know. Maybe I'll put a slip dress in there. I know I put a cardigan in there. And, you know, we'll just take it from there. So, until we meet again, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.